Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. A very special player profile as always. But this young lady who we're about to talk to, well, she has climbed to the very top of the mountain in volleyball at the height of her academics with a 4.0 GPA. Uh, when you think about volleyball this year, this is a name that is going to be at the top of every list that you look at. A young lady who is the youngest of her family, youngest of four, and she is probably again one of the best volleyball players and one of the just best young ladies you're going to see. She laughs a lot, she smiles a lot, and she is always a team player. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I have the distinct privilege of, for the first time, interviewing Abby Emch. Abby, how are you?
Good, how are
I'm
you?
wonderful. Thank you so much for taking some time for us
Of course.
today. Obviously, for you, this isn't your first go round on YSN. You've done a few of these for Crestview. We saw you with Infinity Volleyball over the summer. For you, take us through volleyball. I mean, it's something that I feel like as soon as you're born, Crestview gives you a blanket, I think, and says a future Crestview volleyball player. For you, how did you get started with volleyball, and when did you know it was one of your passions?
So I started when I was 9 years old. I always went into the gym with both of my sisters, Emily and Molly. They kind of got me into it. But I would always go in and just be like the ball girl for practices. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the team aspect. I think that it's an amazing sport. And I think everybody should get to know it because it's pretty awesome.
When you were the ball girl, I mean, were you trying to take in like lessons and trying to take in things and learn the game even from the sideline, or was it
Yeah.
something that you were just there?
Yeah, so I would definitely take it all in. I mean, I went with like Grace and Laney Hour because it was like the Crestview practices. So we would always like pepper on the sidelines and just get our hands on the ball and just have fun with it. I mean, it was a blast.
Was there a day or a year that you just realized, okay, so I might be better than some people at this game and I could be able to do something with this?
Oh geez, I don't know. I mean, I think in like middle school, I just absolutely fell in love with it. I think that's when I was like, I want to do this. I want it to become a huge part of my life, and it really has been. And I'm so thankful for everything.
The angle of this interview is interesting because most people who walk up to you, this is the angle they get. You're 6'3", obviously one of the best hitters in the entire area, but you can do it all. We saw against Salem, you were absolutely serving hot sizzle. I'm talking like you were making pancakes, young lady. Behind that line. For you, do you feel that obviously, your height's an advantage, especially around this area with we have a ton of setters that are excelling all the time, but not exactly everybody's as tall as you.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely helpful, but I feel like height's not always like the answer. But I mean, I have been blessed with my height. I mean, it's helped me so much. But then again, all of my coaches have taught me everything, and it's been a blast working with everyone, and all of my teammates make everything happen. So
When you went to Vegas and you were with all those other teams, was there a lot more height? Was it a little bit of an eye opener?
oh yeah, I definitely feel like almost kind of short around those tournaments because everybody's just like huge, like taller than me, and it's a blast like just watching everybody.
For being a Crestview girl, and I watched your interview with Anthony and the Infinity stuff. You talked about Vegas a lot. That had to be an eye opening experience, and I know that you've been at several different cities and big cities and small cities, all the same. But what is it? Where was it? I guess is the better question. Your first time that it was really an eye opener that the world isn't just tractors and farms and things like that, like it is in New Waterford.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like we were just walking around the streets and it was definitely a big eye opener. I mean, I've seen stuff that I've never seen before, but it was definitely a really good experience and just like a once in a lifetime opportunity to go there with some of my best friends. So it was a lot of fun.
That middle schooler that fell in love with the game of volleyball, did she ever think that she'd be playing in Las Vegas as a soon to be senior?
Not at all.
What so I mean that was a team that was comprised of a lot of talent around Northeast Ohio in this area, obviously. What was I guess for those who don't know, myself included, what's one of the main differences that you see as a player between club and high school volleyball?
I mean, it's just meeting new people. Like for club, there was a bunch of girls from like you said all over the area, and it's just bonding with everybody. I mean, for school, we go to classes with each other, but for club, we really just have like 2.5 hours to get to know each other and to just get better and bond with each other. So I think that's a big change is going from really knowing everybody like my whole life and then just going to club and like having to meet new people and like make new friendships, but it's also been just amazing.
I think there's a misconception out there too that people take club volleyball very seriously, and now that high school takes a back seat, they say. I don't think that's necessarily the real deal, if you will. I mean, explain to me like your mindset between one or the other. Is it any different, or is it the same mindset every time you take the floor?
It's the same. I mean, I just always try and go out with a bunch of confidence and just trusting in my teammates because that's all I can do and just do my best and just have fun because that's the most important thing.
One of the coolest stories I've heard from your mom, God bless her, is that the first day of signing for volleyball last year. Walk me through that. What the experience was like from a recruiting standpoint for a D1, or in your case, before you even went. I think you knew you were going D1, but a potential D1 commit. What is that process like, and what was the day like that you signed with the University of Pittsburgh?
It was incredible. I mean, especially for Pitt, like I've been going to their camps like for a couple years now and I fell in love with the place. I mean, it felt like home. It's only an hour away and all the coaches were just so welcoming. All the girls were so welcoming. They were all just like family to me and then so June 15th is the first day that they can like talk to me. So they talked to me and then I committed I think June 17th. So it was just it felt like the right thing to do. I mean, I love them so much.
I
I'm
mean,
so excited.
you told me before we started this that you were in that room with your family and you're just kind of letting the phone ring, and I'm sure emails and messages and things of that nature. Was it overwhelming at any point? And what was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part of that whole process?
It was definitely overwhelming, but I mean, I was so lucky to have both my mom and dad in the room with me, just all of us just talking to all the coaches. But so June 15th is the actual first day that they can like officially talk to us. So my favorite part was definitely being able to communicate with the coaches because all I could have done at tournaments was just say a quick hi and wave, and that's all that they can do. So it was definitely just amazing finally being able to communicate because, the first time. But I don't think there was anything that I didn't like. I mean, it was incredible. It was like it's kind of indescribable just how crazy it was.
Well, I guess what's it like to have the shoe on the other foot, right? Everybody's chasing you for so long, and then I mean, was it you throw the glasses on and you get your papers out and you go, all right, here's a couple questions I've been waiting to ask
Yep.
you.
Oh yeah. I
So
definitely asked many
what
questions.
were some of those questions? I mean, if we were sitting in the other chair, if we were the teams and or I guess the universities or colleges recruiting you, what were some of the
hmm
questions you asked them? You don't hear this very often.
I asked like what the culture was like how the teammates treat each other, and of course, I got very, very good responses, especially from Pitt. I mean, Pitt's culture is just incredible. And then I asked more about just why they chose where they wanted to coach, because I felt like that was a really good question, and just getting like to know them a lot more. So it was just interesting to hear.
Wow, look at you bringing the grade A question, hardball. Okay. Um, was there anything that surprised you about, Pitt or any of the other people that were on the phone, the other coaches or recruiters that were on the phone, that you kind of said, "Wow," and you don't have to say who, obviously, but you could say, "Wow, that was an interesting answer."
Oh, let's see here. I mean, I don't know. I just felt like everything was just kind of wow because I mean, I'm from a very small town, very small school, so I felt like everything that they said, I was just kind of like, wow, this is incredible. Like this is amazing. I would have never thought that like this was an opportunity that I could have.
You're so soft spoken. Everybody sees that now, and you've gotten incredibly better at these interviews on YSN, and you have a grace and a humility to you that I can't even describe and tell you about. What has been the most challenging part because you are soft spoken about doing some of these interviews or talking about yourself and or your teammates?
It gets a little stressful sometimes. I just want to make sure I always, say the right thing. But I know that when I have the teammates that I do, I will always say amazing things about them because they are all so amazing. And I know I said this before, but I'm just so blessed to have all of them in my life. I do not think I would be where I am without any of them or any of my coaches or any of my family. So I'm a super lucky person.
Well, we're going to give you every chance to talk about those teammates and those family members. So just hang on. A couple more questions about you. Believe it or not, people want to know and hear about you. There's little girls all over that'll be asking for your autograph. I'm sure, if not all this season, definitely at the YSN All Star Game. This is it. I mean, for you, this is your last year of volleyball. You're graduating early. Talk to me about that process and kind of how you came to that decision, because that can't be an easy one, saying I'm only going to have half of a senior year really. But for you, what things had to go into consideration?
Yeah, so at first I did not want to graduate early. I wanted to finish out my senior year, but then I realized that I just wanted to get in the gym with Pitt and just get better with them because in the spring we're going to have like games in the spring and I just wanted to be in there for the whole season. So I'll graduate Crestview in December and then I'll head to Pitt. I think it's like January 4th is when I report and then I'll start classes a couple days later. So I knew that I wanted to do this. I think that it's a really awesome opportunity to get there early and just get comfortable with everything before the travel starts.
Is there anything on the back end of the year that you're giving up that you're kind of bummed out about, or are you good with everything?
Yeah, definitely like hanging out with my friends and just missing like a couple dances, but I mean, the Pitt coaches have been really like amazing and saying that like if I want to come back for like prom, I could, but I guess it all just depends if I'm busy or something, but I mean, I'm definitely going to miss my friends a lot. They've been amazing.
Will you walk in May or June or whatever that is?
I think so. I think as long as like I'm able to, but the Crestview administration has been really awesome too, saying that I could, and so I mean it's been great.
All right. You are the youngest of your siblings, the youngest of four, the last Emch to come through Crestview. And what does that mean? I mean, your siblings have built such a great or paved such a great way for you, to be able to kind of ride on asphalt, so to speak, as opposed
Mhm.
to rocks and dirt. What has that been like for you? And what would you say to your siblings for giving you those opportunities?
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, I look up to them in every single way possible. They are amazing role models for me. I have no idea what I would do without them. I mean, I just want to thank them so much because they've kind of set the tone for Emch kids and they've like set the tone amazingly because they're just so awesome. They're amazing people and I'm so lucky to have them to look up to and to just try to be like.
I love that you keep using amazing. That is a perfect word for it,
Well,
and it'll probably be in your title of this particular interview. For you, if you had one word to describe each of your siblings, what would it be and why?
oh geez, that's a good question.
I told you we were getting deep.
Oh goodness. Oh, I feel like I can't think of just one. I mean, Emily, she's the best role model. Like it's hard to describe. Like that's not really one word, but like she's just like kind of the leader of the siblings. She's always there for us, and I mean, she's like one of the best big sisters ever. Molly, she's always there for me, and she's just like calm and just relaxed, and I know I can always go and talk to her about anything. And then Ryan's just the good old big brother. He's always there for me. Funny. He always makes me laugh whenever I need a good laugh. And I know I can just go and talk to them at any point and they can give me good advice and help me with anything, especially math homework.
So when you're thinking about your parents, I know they do a lot for all of you. They do a lot for the community, for many communities of people, and of course, just this area in general. But there was something on Facebook I saw a few weeks ago that was really interesting. It was your dad, I believe, in an airplane dropping candy into the yard, a candy drop for a team bonding experience. Walk Can you give us a play-by-play of that, please?
Yeah, so he's done that a couple of times or many times the past couple years, but it's kind of like just a really cool thing that he's always done. So a couple like hours before I went to the team bonding, I was like, "Wait, we should do this because the like Abbey Baraka, we went to her house and they have like a really good yard for like candy drops." And so I was like, "Wait, we should do this." And so he like got all the candy ready and I think like Ryan and his girlfriend and then like my mom and Molly all helped and they just got like the candy with the streamers and then Molly and my dad went up and flew to Abby's house and then dropped the candy and we kind of like surprised all the girls. We were like, "Come out to the front," and they all came and they were like, "Whoa, there's an airplane." And I was like, "Yep." And then the candy fell and they were all like, "What?" It was really cool.
So is that a situation the first time it happens that you're just like taking cover because like you got
Yeah.
now and later's dropping from the sky?
Yeah, seriously. It's so
What is
fun.
it? What is your favorite candy?
Oh, geez. Well, probably like I would say Skittles. I always have to go with Skittles. But then like Kit Kats are probably my favorite chocolate.
You're two for two when it comes to that, young lady.
Yeah.
Skittles, the Power Pellets, and of course the Kit Kat, by far the best candy bar known to
Yes.
human beings. I'm with you 100%.
Yep.
Get those Hershey bars out of here. I don't want
I
anything to do
know,
with it.
seriously.
Gross. Unless it's on a s'more, then we're talking. But
That's true.
even then, we figured out. I don't know if you know this. Pro tip: if you're doing s'mores, make sure you're doing like those. They're like the Keebler Elf like fudge
Mhm.
grams, and just
Oh.
put the marsh. Oh, it's money. It's money,
Oh, I'll have to
and
try
it's
that.
way easier, by the way. Way
Yeah.
easier.
That's
So, pro
cool.
tip here from the Columbiana Countyite to another Columbiana Countyite.
Oh yeah. I'll be trying.
Um, let's talk about this team. You know, we haven't talked about them yet. Let's talk about your teammates first. I- I've been told, you know, for years, year in, year out, well, Crestview lost too much. Crestview lost too much. Crestview, they can't do what they did. They can't be what they were. And then year in and year out, Crestview continues to set the bar and reset the bar no matter who's on the floor. Talk to me about someone who's been in that program seemingly her whole life. What makes Crestview so special in this program so special when it comes to volleyball?
Our chemistry on the court and off the court for all the years that I've been playing has been like amazing, indescribable. I mean, we're all best friends off the court, and so that makes playing on the court 10 times better. I mean, we all get each other. We all just want to cheer up everybody if something's wrong. We just want to push everybody to be the best that they can be. So I think that's a very important thing. And I mean, we all work so hard at practices. So it's a bunch of fun.
So when you're talking chemistry, I mean, there's different ingredients that go into making something special, like you have with the Lady Rebels. What do you think your main component is? Like when if you're part of that chemistry, is it role players? And if that's the case, what role do you play on the team? And has it changed over the last 3 years?
I would say definitely my freshman year, I was kind of like more quiet and shy. I was just trying to get used to it. But I think that, I mean, I always try and make people laugh and just try and put a smile on all of their faces because, I mean, we just want to play volleyball and we just want to have so much fun. But I think that our main thing is, I mean, we just love each other so much. And I think that's a very important thing. And just getting to know each other off the court makes playing on the court a lot better. And just knowing how to treat each other is very important also.
Correct me if I'm wrong. When you're a freshman, you're just learning as much as you can. You're drinking water out of the fire hose. Your sophomore year, you walk in, you understand it a little bit, but you're still in that learning phase. But you have expectations for yourself. Your junior year, you feel like you're established. People are reading about you. They're watching you. But you feel like you have forever. Now you're in your senior year. You've got a limited number of games and times to be with those teammates left on your ledger. For you, what do you want people to know about your time at Crestview to this point, and have your expectations for yourself and your teammates change here in your senior year?
I want everybody to know that I'm just a hard worker and just I just trust my teammates as much as I can. I think trusting each other is probably, if not the most important thing about volleyball, and just having confidence in each other. I think that just everybody just getting to know people and just trusting each other is just incredibly important.
Postseason has never been a problem. You take care of business during the season. You had that incredible stretch run of not losing a single set for the longest time in league. This year, with all of that stuff behind you, were you able to refocus on what is important and what do you feel like is important moving forward? And obviously, the ultimate goal is the state championship. But what expectations do you have for this particular year, 2024, for the Crestview Rebels?
I mean, obviously we want to try and make it to state, but I think that's going to take a lot of hard work. And I think we can do it if we put in everything that we have every single day and just get better. I think that's very important. Is just getting better at the game and just getting better as people and as better teammates. I think that's a big thing, and just having fun with it. I think that's probably one of my main goals this year, is to just have fun and just relax while I play and just trust my teammates.
What part of the game has come the easiest to you, and what has been and continues to be one of the most challenging aspects of volleyball?
That's a good question. I would say, um, I mean, like I said, like my height has definitely helped me a lot, but I would say like the challenging is just kind of being confident in myself. I think since I was younger, I was very just shy and just not as confident as I am today. But I think that's come a long way, and I think I've definitely gotten better at that. But I mean, there's always room to improve in that, and just knowing that I can do it and I can help my teammates out.
I think you're spot on. We've seen the growth just from your interviews, but obviously on the court as well, and being on YSN all the time. For you, what inspired that confidence when you think about, like, even moments that you feel like you're not brave, you're not confident? What do you go? Where do you go in your head to say, okay, I have this. I've done this a million times. I have this. Where do you go?
Well, I pray before every game, every practice. The whole team, we just go in a circle and pray. And then in my mind, I just think I can do this. And I just say, I want to do this for my teammates and for my family and friends. I'm not playing for myself, I'm playing for God and for my teammates.
Abby, you are such an inspiration, I guess is the best word to put it, to so many. From our standpoint, we love covering you because we love the way you play. But there are young ladies and young boys out there that are watching you, and with aspirations of following in the footsteps that you have really put down over the last, I'd say, 4 years, but I know it's a lot more. What words of wisdom would you give to those kids who want to walk the path of, in academics, 4.0 GPA, in chasing your dream of being a D1 volleyball player, for them that to just play a sport outside of high school? What words of wisdom would you pass along to them that you would have wanted to hear when you were going up the ranks?
I would say just never give up. I know it's going to be very hard. It was very hard for me. Just be the best version of yourself and just be you. That's all you can be. Don't change yourself for anything, and be confident in yourself, because you only get one life, so you might as well just go for it. Just do it. Just be yourself and just go out and just have fun.
I was watching that Infinity interview before we hopped on here, and at the very end, you stopped Anthony and dead in his tracks and said, "Wait, wait, 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 wait! I just want to shout out, my family, my teammates, all these people." Before you ended the interview, which I was cracking up because when we teach these, it's hey, ask about role models, ask, and you've done so many of these, but you do it right every time. So you don't have to stop me. I'm going to give you the floor. The one question I am going to ask you is, when you talk about role models, I'm just going to guess that you don't have to look very far for those role models. They were probably in that same room that you were in when they were getting when you were getting those phone calls and those text messages and all those messages about playing potentially at the next level. Your parents are incredible people. As role models and someone who is in that family, talk to me about what it means to be in that household, be in that family, and see people that you admire so much every single day.
It means so much. I mean, they are just amazing, incredible people. I am so lucky to have them as my parents. I mean, I think that I got the jackpot and got the best two parents in the whole wide world, but of course I'm oh yeah. But they're amazing. I know I can always go to them for anything that I need. I can always ask them questions. They'll always answer me honestly, and they're just always there for me. And I've just been blessed with two amazing parents, and they are just I don't know, they're amazing. That's about my
Amazing.
word.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so from that, I'm going to ask you a question you probably haven't thought of. Maybe you have, but if you had to pick one trait from each parent and you got to place it in your own DNA, what would it be and why?
Really good question.
That's why they pay
Oh,
me the big bucks, Ab.
um, I would say for my dad, probably his bravery. He's just always going, and he's such a brave person. I mean, I hope to be half as brave as him. And then my mom, probably her kindness. She's one of the kindest people I know, and I can always learn something from her. I can always learn something from both of them. But that's really good question. Only one word, but I would definitely say those two things.
All right. And then the final question, why the heck is there a giant deer behind you? Who shot it? And, and how many more are in your house?
So I think it was Ryan who shot it. We call it Bob. I think I
Oh,
named that actually. But Ryan and my dad all like they go hunting a lot. I think there's just this one in our whole house, but they've definitely shot many more than this one.
well, I'm
But we
just
always
happy
just
that
laugh about it.
I'm just happy that the antlers aren't behind you this time, like they were
Yeah.
in Anthony's interview. You look a lot better with that thing. I mean, he's been a co-host the entire time, but I can appreciate Bob, and I certainly, Abby, we can appreciate you. We are so grateful to be able to have this time to not only talk to you, but to cover you throughout your ride at Crestview. We're so proud of you in so many different ways. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being a role model to all these young student athletes and someone to look up to and potentially ask questions to as they go through their ride. Um, you're the best. You absolutely are. We're excited to see how this season transpires for you and your teammates and your program at Crestview. But if nothing else, best of luck moving forward. And we are just excited to see this journey roll out for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everything that you guys do at YSN. You guys are awesome.
We're well, yeah, I appreciate that. That it means a lot, but I like to think we're amazing. So
You are amazing.
that's gonna do it. Abby Emch, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Any final words that you have? Words of wisdom for anybody out there?
I mean, just I've said this earlier, but just never give up. Just be yourself. I mean, just just do your thing. Just do your best, and just always have fun with every single thing that you do.
Abby, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.